This is Kiara, and you are checking out the 3 Count podcast.
Now entering the ring, married to the business.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the 3 Count podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller. That's right, your Sherpa, the man himself, the guy who leads you up the mountain to the summit, because that's what we do here. We bring on people, we ask them questions because, let's be real, I get lost all the time. But it's never about me. It's always about who's entering the ring. And today, she comes to us from Invictus, GCW, MPW, Ladies Night Out. She's from BCW. She can be also found at Shine, ICW, QDC, and Power Evolve at NYWC. That's right. I do my research. And you guys know her as the queen of the cookie cutter. She is Vanity.
Hello. That intro was immaculate.
Hey, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
So thank you for coming on our show and talking with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me and hitting me up.
Oh yeah, I will be upfront honest. So Chaz and I, we actually came up to the Invictus show, and that's where we first met you. And while we were driving back home, we talked about 3 matches, but your match was the one that we probably spent the most time on because we're big fans of Vicky. We're also big fans of you, and then we're big fans of Riley as well. So seeing all 3 of you work together in the match was just killer to me.
I'm glad you had fun.
Oh yeah, and the double cookie cutter. Oh
Yeah. I was like, you have to bust this out right now.
Oh yeah, I was so hyped when I saw that because I was like, I died laughing, and then I was checking out your IG live, and you were talking about how you developed that. So I guess I want to start there, right? 1, who is Vanity, and 2, how did you come up with the cookie cutter?
Okay, I get that question a lot for who is Vanity. I would just say, like, I don't even speak that much, but when I do, hey, everyone's listening. So I would say I'm like more street smart. Fashion is my thing. If you get in my face, then we have a problem. That's just it. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New York, so that's it. And I'm from Jersey. We have the same attitude. Once you step in my circle, we got a problem. But I'm just a cookie cutter person. Like, I tackle all my problems, and yeah. And as for the cookie cutter, I kept losing in my matches, which I was okay with, you know, in the beginning of wrestling. But putting a move set together, I was just like, all right, moves are moves, but I want people to be like, oh my, what? She really kicked her in the, you know? And I'm like, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But Goldust did the Shattered Dreams, and we were tape studying. I was tape studying with WrestlePro, which was PWS back then. And then I was like, that's it. And then Goldust did the Shattered Dreams once. I didn't see it again for a while, and I was like, I have to have that move. But then when I did it, I was just like, I need to scream. I don't know, like, I already don't talk. So the cookie cutter was born one day, and I think I did it on Deonna Purrazzo the first time. I think I did it on Deonna, and like I did it on another guy, but yeah, the cookie cutter was born, and every time I do it, I just scream it out so everybody knows what it is.
It's funny because I've always wondered that, right? Like, and it's something I just want to see happen one time in a major promotion because I've never seen it, right? Like, dude gets low blowed, that's the end of the match, right? That's a DQ. But a girl gets kicked in her cookie, the match just continues on. I was like, no, that's a DQ because that should definitely be a DQ. I was like, I just want one time where like the woman is like the champ. She has the belt. She comes out. She talking trash to the other girl and just bell rings. She just kicks her. And like the ref just stands like hands up. And then he's just like ring the bell. And then like, that's how the match ends. Like,
yeah.
Personally, I was like, yo, I think that's just a fun way to end a match. I mean, a lot of people be pissed off and that's the point. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, that's so great.
So funny to watch. I don't really watch my matches over. I just get right to the cookie cutter part, and I just like end up laughing.
Oh yeah, I was dead. I was like, oh, and I was looking at Chaz. I was like, that's brilliant. That's one of the best things I've ever seen. And I was like, and it's so simple, but it's so effective. And like you're saying, like you hit it, and that's the number one thing like I think of like all the time now. Whenever Chaz and I talk about and to be fair, we talk about you a lot. When we talk about you, instantly the first thing I think of is that. So yes, that move is definitely impressionable, and that it has left an impression in my mind now. So I'm curious, like, how did you get into the business?
When I was like 19 or 20, I went to college, and the gym was really growing on me. Just going to the gym, getting away from the house, because home life was just, I moved around a lot, and it was just annoying moving, making new friends, finding another job. So I went to a college, and my speech teacher was so awesome, and he had us write essays about stuff that we love. And it was like a 5-week course. On every Friday, we had like a big essay. So mine was like nutrition, gym, my grandpa who introduced me to wrestling. And then I think on the 5th week, I talked about the Lita and the Hardy Boys. Like, I was a kid in college. And then my college professor was like, hey, you passed the class. And I'm like, all right, give me my A and I can go to my next class. And he's like, no, sit down. I think you should go do this wrestling thing. Like, why not? You're always coming in with like your Adidas and Under Armour. That's cool. And you gotta look. Like, try playing with this. Yeah, I came out of college. I was like, fuck that shit. Wait, are we allowed to curse?
Yes, we are.
I was like, fuck that. Let me go try to find a school. And then all the nearest schools were like an hour away, but I found one link for Pro Wrestling Syndicate with Pat Buck, Danny Moff, and I clicked on it. The rest was history. I've been with them. Well, actually, no, I've been wrestling for 7 years since, but it all started with college.
That's awesome, though. That's super awesome. I was like, I know, like for me, like I said, like I've said it on here. I've been 18 months, but like prior, because like when I was just hitting 20, I had just joined the military and was like, all right, I'm gonna go off and go wherever the military tells me to go. And then like as soon as I got out, my wife was like, all right, well, now that we're out of the military, and I don't know why I said we, but she's, now that you're out of the military, you need to start applying for jobs. And the first job I applied for was a writer for WWE. And I was like, that's all I could think about was wrestling.
Can you hear that? I'm so sorry. Can you say that again?
Yeah, so I was just saying that, like, one of the first jobs I ever applied for when I got to the military was with the WWE. So it's just funny to see, like, when how you were like, one person told you, like, you should try this wrestling thing. You're like, fuck it, I'm gone.
Yeah. Like when I was little, I always knew I wanted to be a wrestler. I just didn't know how to do it. I would go to like high schools and be like, hey, I was on the track. I mean, I wasn't good at track, but I was on the track team. I did cross country. I knew I was like strong. I was obsessed with dance and figure skating. I don't know why, and being flexible, but I was just like, I know I could do this. And like, how do you go up to your parent and be like, hey, I want to be a professional wrestler? So my mom one day gave me an ultimatum, and she was like, it's either college or this wrestling thing. And I lived the next day. We didn't even finish the conversation. The next day, I packed up my stuff, moved to my boyfriend's, and went to wrestling school. I was about to have my first match 3 months after I first started practicing. And I was like, hey, Mom, I know you don't like this, but like, this is it. It is what it is, I know I won't regret this. And yeah, we made up. So wrestling like saved my family.
Nice. That was like the one thing my parents were always telling me too. They're like, always make sure you have something to fall back on. And I was like, all right.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get it, but you know what? Let me fall back on myself. I won't regret it.
Yeah. And that's where I was too. Like after once I got in the military and I got done with college, I was like, what do I want to do? I was like, I want to be a pro wrestler too. I was like, that's where I'm going to go. And so fired everything off. So seeing that you've been in the business for like 7 years now, I'm just very curious. You've probably taken a lot of bumps. I'm just curious, what's been the worst bump you've taken?
Wow. Just one at practice. I feel like the worst bumps are at practice, not at a show, because when you're at a show, you got so much pent up adrenaline. You're looking for people. The camera's in your face. But at practice, when everything's slowed down and you have to work with somebody, take your time with yourself. Yeah, that was my worst bump. I was going for like a sunset flip, but the girl that was supposed to bend down had her feet together, so there was nowhere for me to land. And we've been practicing sunset flip, like that's the easiest thing ever. So I went to go jump over her and her feet were together and I planted myself and then like my shoulder hasn't been the same, but I bumped on my head basically.
Oh,
really badly.
That's bad.
Then, yeah, but this, I mean, like it was practice. The worst bumps are at practice. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I can agree. I know, like, my trainer was like, "Hey, like, what do you want to try?" And I was like, "I want to do Akira Tozawa's like big senton splash," and he was just like, "Bet, jump on the top rope and do it." Mind you, I never took a dojo bump before, or even just like a choke slam bump. So I was like, "Bet," and I did it, and I was like, "I'm never doing this again." Like that's just not happening. I was like, all the air in my lungs. Oh, on the mat too. I didn't even have a crash pad. I was like, oh, it hurts so much.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what? That reminds me of the second worst bump I had. I was going to catch somebody as like a how do you call that move again? He was just gonna like land on me and I just had to like catch him. He ended up overshooting it and landing on my head and all I felt was like a gong. He like overshot it. And that time, Brian Hawks, I think, what was his name? Yeah, Brian Hawks just got out of the WWE, and he's coming in, and I just got a concussion from this guy landing on my head. It was just like a song, like, man, wrestling is just lovely.
Yo, you know what? We love it. We love it so much, though. Like it's just one of those things that we genuinely, you give love to it, and it does not give love back to you. It just lets you know, like, hey, cool, keep loving me, and we're like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was Kurt Hawkins. Yeah.
Oh, Kurt
was coming in that day, and we were messing around in the ring before practice, and then he comes in and he goes, "Hey, you're right," and I'm like, "I just got a concussion."
Like, and then he's probably like, "Yeah, you did, kid." So aside from like the worst bump, I'm just curious, like, what's the hardest you've ever been hit in a ring?
Man, I don't even know because the level of pain that people go through, they just like take it. I've never been in a weapons match before, so hopefully a stipulation comes in soon. But I feel like the hardest I've ever been hit was with Lufisto. Lufisto is one of the most hardcorest chicks I've ever been in the ring with. It was a 3-way match for Pro Wrestling Empire's Women's Championship. And it was a 3-way, just a little punch, kick, you're always going to be like somewhere. But she went for the punch and I was like, oh, okay, wake up. Wake up. This is Lufisto. You thought.
Oh man, actually, it's funny because like I've been reaching out to her to see if I can get her on the show. I've heard a lot of fun stories about her, like how great she is like professionally, but then like I've heard like in the ring she's like one of the hardest hitters. Like
yeah, for sure. I wonder how sometimes like girls tell me like, "Oh, Vanity, I know how you're sweet and everything, but once that bell rings, Right.
I think about that too, because like that happened with me a little while ago, where like this guy and I, we were talking, we were just having like a fun conversation, and then like as soon as my music played, I was just like,
yeah. This is paying the bills now. We ain't
right.
friends anymore.
I'm over here like all smiles, like with these interviews and stuff like that. Only if they knew that once that music starts, I was like,
right. I even get that for my photo shoots. Like sometimes a photographer would be like, it's just a photo shoot. I just want to be like in my zone. But they're like, give me Vanity. And I'm like, what? I'm like, this is a bikini shoot. I don't know. You want me to be like, come on now.
Right. So I'm curious, like with all your matches and stuff like you have, right? And I know a lot of wrestlers. This is like something I've been learning actually here recently. But But I know a lot of wrestlers don't eat before the shows, but they always have like that post-match snack or post-match meal that they gotta have. So I'm very curious, like, what's yours?
Oh, I don't even know. Sometimes a steak, just like a nice juicy steak, or sushi, something to fill me up and like I could just go to bed. I don't really do McDonald's anymore because, like, if I'm gonna work hard for it, then I'm gonna eat like a champ. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be doing McDonald's and Burger King no more. That was like the first and second year. We've upgraded to a steak.
Right. What's your go-to roll for sushi?
The dragon roll, like a mix of everything.
Okay, yeah. I got that. I'm me myself. There's this place out in Hawaii, right? It's called Duraku's, but they have like the Duraku special, which is like salmon and like there's like avocado in there, and there's just like a bunch of other mixes in there too. And each roll is a different, each level is a different flavor. So I was like, it's always so good, and I'm like, I like start drooling when I start thinking about it too much.
I'm drooling right now, boy. Gotta go to Hawaii now.
So I'm very curious though, like, what kind of advice would you give to up and coming wrestlers?
Your school's not gonna always, have your back. Have your own back. You know what I'm saying? Just believe in yourself and have your own back, and you will see you're gonna see everyone's true color, whether it's playing a character or being yourself, or if you could do both. But just trust yourself. Trust yourself, trust yourself, trust yourself. Somebody else will book you. Somebody else will love you. It's everything takes time. That's it. Just be true to yourself.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, and save your money. Woo! That's one. Save your money.
All right. So last thing I need from you before we get into the second best segment of this podcast, I need a one do and one don't of the locker room.
Do clean up after yourself, and if you're going to the same school or like around the same vicinity as the other wrestlers, sometimes I wouldn't mind picking up some trash around or whatever. But like, just clean up after yourself, and don't smell bad. That's one thing. Oh my God, don't smell bad, and shave, and look like what you want to look like. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to go all hardcore with the blood, then go all hardcore. Don't do that. I want to look good. I want to look bad. I got holes in my shirt. And then now you're trying to like play James Bond. Like, do it. Do it, do it, do it.
Oh, I like that. Just stay consistent. I like that.
Yeah. Take care of yourselves.
So those are my heavy hitting questions, but we do have everybody's favorite segment of this podcast, which is the 3 Count Podcast, 10 count questions. And Vanity, this is how it works. I'm going to fire off 10 questions at you, rapid fast. So whatever first thought comes to your mind. Are you ready to play the game?
Boy, I was born ready. Let's go.
Put on our imaginary timer then. Bing! And here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Favorite cartoon?
Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, shout outs. Unrelated question, but also the same question. Which one?
Buttercup.
Hey, Buttercup. Would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Too hot.
Bet. Favorite movie?
Cruel Intentions.
Okay. I dig me some Sarah Michelle Gellar. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
3 things that you would take with you on a deserted island.
My cell phone, my charger, and a big flat screen TV.
Let's go. Favorite color?
Like copper, like a reddish brown.
Okay, I like that. Would you rather have cookies or brownies?
Oh, and Mom loves the cookie cutter brownies. The brownie.
All right. Favorite podcast?
I would have to say this one. Like, I don't really even listen to podcasts, except for, I don't listen to podcasts, but you said Joe Rogan, and I do listen to him once in a while, and his stuff is funny and good. Yeah. So yeah, I'll say this one for today.
Hey, bet. Don't worry, because like me personally, I know a lot of people will find it shocking, but with the Joe Rogan experience, I generally just started listening to the Dave Chappelle episode, and I'm all in for it right now.
That's dope. I gotta check it out.
So nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
Tessa Blanchard or Maria Manic.
Yes, I will take both.
Yeah, oh my God, I have not seen Maria Manic for a minute.
And then last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person who comes on this show. Favorite curse word?
Slut.
Yay. That's the first time we've had that word on the show.
I feel like it's just the most dirtiest, you know? Like, it's not my favorite, but it's just the most dirtiest. Everyone uses fuck, but I'm just like, slut. Like, what? my head bends for that word.
Yeah, I like that though. So that being the 10 count questions, last thing I need from you, Vanity, is to let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
Guys, don't be a stranger. Please go onto Google and just put in WrestleBay all day, every day. You'll find me. I am the only WrestleBay. So it won't be hard to find me. So yeah, hit that follow button, subscribe, support, and there you go.
And it's that easy. You literally just go in, like, support, or subscribe, follow, write a comment, share it with your friends, do whatever. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps everybody out. So make sure you do that. But that is it. This is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. And as I said, I'm your Sherpa, the man who leads you up the mountain. But it's not about me. It's about who's entering the ring. And today, entering the ring is the WrestleBay herself, Vanity, the master of the cookie cutter. And you guys know what to do next. Tune into the next episode and be there. Or you just wait till this episode ends, listen to the outro, and another episode is going to play. That's ours. Peace.
Peace.
What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3 Count Pod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give us a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3 Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3 Count Podcast also has merchandise. At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3 Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So show us some support, please.